How are you? Thanks for coming in. You guys look tired. How's the market? By the way, something else no one says, awesome to be in Minneapolis in November. Now, this is kind of cool. How many of you were born and raised here? Raise your hands. And I'm going to make you do this raise of hands for a while, okay? Because I just want to get the pulse of what we got going on here. So a lot of you born and raised. Any of you college graduates from Northwestern here? Not one? St. Paul, of course. Which Northwestern? Northwestern St. Paul. Oh. Yes? Any Bethel grads? Okay. Any high school dropouts according to this gentleman? Let's go ahead and leave the hands down on that one. This kind of has a little special place near and dear to my heart. I was born in Wyoming. That's where the birth certificate, what it says. I'm sure you can tell. But I've lived in Denver most of my life. But I started dating, which is my wife today. I started dating her in 8th grade. Yeah. What? Guys, it's very simple. She looks like Faith Hill, okay? So, winning. We've been married 22 years, but June 10th of this year was our 30-year kissing anniversary. Spicy, right? She was babysitting. She came here, and she graduated from Northwestern in St. Paul. So she is a grad, and so I would drive 1,500 miles to visit her here in my Ford Explorer Eddie Bauer edition. Any of you own one of those? Like I thought I was it, man. That tan around the bottom. But yeah, so I would come visit her at Northwestern and do that 1,500 mile drive between here and Wyoming. Beautiful. So that's kind of cool. And any of you sell real estate in Andover by chance? So my wife's sister, my sister-in-law, and her husband live there. And she is a professor at Bethel and is a graduate. And my mother-in-law graduated from Bethel as well. So whatever tie, even as tiny as it is, it always is kind of fun to come visit. And I was here this summer just because of that tie and that long drive. And there was I took Hannah to dinner in St. Paul, and I can't remember the restaurant. It's in a high-rise, and you go up an escalator. And I remember the tablecloths were kind of peach colored. Does this sound familiar? Anyway, we were only 19, and we ordered a with it. Anyway, so glad to be with you today. It's kind of fun. So thanks. What would you like to talk about? This is going to go real well, folks.
Not Zillow.
Not Zillow? Okay.
1,500 miles for a kiss.
1,500 miles for a kiss.
That's a hell of a kisser, man.
Yeah. Crazy the things we do, right?
And who was she babysitting?
Who was she babysitting? So forget real estate. Let's talk about Nick's love life. Okay. Mr. Vincent, he was a high school history teacher, and he was the coach of the girls' basketball team, and she was babysitting his kids. Yeah.
Good to know it wasn't you.
Why was I there? To get the first kiss.
We wanted to make sure that she wasn't babysitting you.
Right.
No. She is now. I am a 10-year-old trapped in a 46-year-old body. But here's another cool story, because you obviously don't want to talk about real estate. I bought my first car when I was 13. I bought my second car when I was 14, my third car when I was 15 when we started dating. And I had a 1983 red Toyota Supra. Okay, you're 15 years old, dorky redhead playing the saxophone in high school. Supra, instantly cool. It's why she started dating me. 7 years ago, she was on a girls' night, and I have 2 boys, and we were online looking at cars. I had a buddy, because I love cars. I had a buddy send me this, found a 1983 Toyota Supra in Chicago with 22,000 original miles, exactly like mine. Bought it, paid cash. The boys are like, yeah, I get it. Of course, at the time, they're like 4 and 8. Did not tell Hannah, did not tell her, had it shipped out. I call her, and I said, hey, meet me in the driveway. And she said, why? I said, just do it, just come on. I pull up in this red 83 Toyota Supra. Her eyes are this big. I roll down the window and I said, hey, want to get in the back seat like old times? She said, you are ridiculous. Put it in the garage and get in the house. Honest to God, true story. So,
She always hated that car.
she always hated it. No, she loved it. She loved that car, but she's only ridden in it once. Okay. Anything else you'd like to know about my personal life? Yes, sir.
Stick shifter auto.
5-speed, baby. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes, sir.
How about we talk about getting ready for next year, and maybe one thing we should stop doing, one thing we should start doing, and one
Great.
thing we should keep doing.
Okay. Good. Thank you for the analytical guy. Now wants to talk real estate. I have to say, in all the years I've spoken, that intro I have never done. So this is an interesting start. Hey, let's talk about the market. Is it changing, yes or no? Would you love 2 or 3 things that you can take away to make sure you're successful next year? Okay, let's talk about some of those. Any of you licensed less than 5 years? Okay. Can I start off with a scare tactic? 87% of real estate agents fail. 87% of agents that get a real estate license do not have it 5 years later. There are more realtors in the US than listings right now. The highest NARS membership has ever been in their history at 1.5 million realtors. The next closest was 2006 at 1.4. 85, how many fail? 85% of realtors in the United States have had a license less than 5 years right now. So all of you that raised your hand, did your heart just start beating a little faster? No, you're good. I'll tell you what, it's because you're with ReMax. We sell a lot of houses. I believe right now, because of a strong run-up in a seller's market, the industry to me looks like the Las Vegas Strip. There are lights flashing and gimmicks and new things and billions of capital pouring in. There are startups. But I will tell you what, folks, I've been licensed. I got to update that bio. I've been licensed for just over 25 years. The number one reason that 87% fail is what?
They don't sell enough houses.
Money.
Say it again.
They don't sell enough houses.
Thank you. Right now, I am seeing in this market, it's driving me crazy. Every get-rich scheme, downline, profit, guys, whoa, whoa, whoa. I am so proud when I put this on because it doesn't say real estate, it says I'm really good at it. There is a reason why ReMax agents sell 2 to 1 of the next closest competitor. Folks, I will tell you what, if you don't remember anything I tell you today, remember this. The only way to build a wonderful career, create wealth, and be great in real estate is because you help a lot of buyers and sellers. That's it. That is it. It is the foundation. Do not get distracted from that. Period, the end. In this role, and I'll tell you a little bit about my background. By the way, I'm very proud of this. I sold $4 million in real estate last year. Thank you for a little bit of awe. I was in California this summer and said that. And I said, folks, I sold $4 million in real estate. Lady's like, who'd you share a deal with? Not impressed. 2 weeks later, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. I said $4 million in real estate. The whole room. Wow. Now, I'm not out to compete with you and sell real estate, but I have been a licensed broker for 25 years. One was a personal transaction, and the other 4 were for very, very close friends that I helped out. But I like to do that to stay right at the front lines of the transaction, because in leading a global brand and looking at where I see the future of this business in 3 to 5 years, there is not one other leader of any big company that has sold a house. And so I want to use that for your benefit, because this brand, founded by Dave and Gail Linegar almost 49 years ago, guess what Dave did before he started this company? And when he started this company? He sold houses. And this company has always been, what can we do to put you, the real estate professional, in the best position possible for buyers and sellers, and give you what you need to sell a lot of houses? And that foundation that we're built upon is absolutely what we intend to carry forward. You're the best agents in the business, you've got the best credibility, the best brand name, and we want to make sure that we evolve this company to make sure that we're keeping you ahead of the competition. And I'm going to talk about some of the things you should be considering, especially not only for next year, but the year after. How does that sound? Okay, rewind the clock. 17 years old, I had a chance to buy 2 commercial properties in the community I was living, 2 retail buildings. I leased one out to Pizza on the Run. By the way, it was the hip spot for open campus at lunch. Do you know how you get totally cool as the dorky redhead in high school? Be the landlord and get free pizza for your friends. And drive a Toyota Supra. It's all you have to do. I've told my boys this. That was my first forte into real estate. When I graduated from high school, I ended up buying a house about 2 blocks from the college because I looked, any of you send your kids to college and pay for a dorm for a semester? That was a 3% FHA down payment on a 4-bedroom house, and I could rent out two bedrooms in the basement for a year till I could afford it on my own. That's how I got started in real estate. And I thought it was super cool. While I was going to real estate, I got licensed when I was 21. I was still going to college, running my own business, not real estate related at the time. And I went into the office where I thought I wanted to be, Wyoming Real Estate Network. And Gloria Hederman, and I said, hey, I want to get into real estate. And I passed the test and hang my license here. And for some of you, maybe a couple of you have heard me in the last few months, you're going to hear a couple of the same stories. Stay with me. What did Gloria say to me? A part-time kid will never make it in this business. Rest in peace, Gloria. It worked out okay. She's not dead. She's still a good friend, but it plays well. So I got into real estate, and going to college, running a business, and sold $1 million my first year. My average sales price was $77,000. $77,000. You got to burn a lot of deals right at that price range. Great experience. Opened an office a few months later with the #1 producer in town. Her name was Glow. By the way, she'd give you a pen at closing, and guess what it said on it? Put a glow in your life. Oh my gosh. And then I went out and bought billboards and said, call Nick, call it sold. Like, guys, clueless, terrible at marketing. Learned a few things. Did that for about 5 years. Hannah and I got married, wanted to move back to Denver where I had grown up. Went to work at ReMax headquarters for about 11.5 years in the regional operations side. Did that, left ReMax, went to Market Leader. If any of you know that company, they do websites, online lead generation. It was acquired by Trulia. And you know the rest of the story, was acquired by Zillow. So I was an exec at Zillow for 5 years. Go ahead. Usually people boo the heck out of me at that point.
What'd you think?
What did I think? One of the coolest companies I've ever worked for. They move extremely fast. The iBuyer program called Zillow Offers, we sat down in the boardroom and we said, hey, let's consider doing this. Built the tech, got the funding, announced the program, 60 days to the day. Everyone thought like there was this big master plan, and I can tell you where they're going and kind of that inside track. It was an idea, and it was done and laid out in 60 days. So fascinating, and big news that they shut it down. We can talk about that because I have an opinion on that as well. And then I got tapped to go to C21. I never thought this would happen. It's where I started as a licensee, but I went to become president and CEO of Century 21. Long commute from Denver to New Jersey, by the way. You think your commute's bad? and decided I didn't want to move my family there. We wanted to stay in Colorado. We're big skiers, and my wife skis as well. And so I resigned that position, and I was actually going to buy a company. And lo and behold, the phone rang. It was Adam Contos, our current CEO of ReMax, and Dave Liniger. And they said, will you have lunch? And I said, sure. Never in a million years did I think that this path would come. And they said, will you come back and consider leading the brand as we have done this huge generational shift of leadership from Dave Liniger and being founder-led. I'll tell you, it was like the biggest honor phone call of my life, and saying, would you consider this? And people ask, why did I come back to ReMax? And I said, there's one reason, and I mean this: the quality of the ReMax agent. Because there are a lot of agents in this business, yes or no, that are not very good at it. How many times have you gone to the closing table and they should give you both sides of the commission because you basically did the deal for the other agent? Sounding a little familiar? Folks, 1.5 million realtors, there are only about 250,000 in this business that do something. And we've got 64,000 of them in the US. This is the largest ReMax has ever been in its history, 141,000 agents in 113 countries and nearly 9,000 locations. It's incredible. And it was based on the more yard signs, the more market share, the more advertising dollars, the more commission checks for you. So anyway, I share that background with you, not because this is about me, this is about you, but I want you to know where I'm coming from as we think about the future and what this means for you. Okay, do you want to get into a couple of tactical things? Market's changing, yes or no? Yes. Are we in a bubble? Why not?
Affordability, how much of our cash is spent on homes, tons of reasons. Not enough inventory still. Supply and on new construction. This is your talk. You take it over.
Supply, would you like just switch? I'd love to sit and relax for an hour. Do we have a supply problem? No. Inventory is only low when it's not yours. Number one. Number two, how many houses are we going to sell in the US this year? 5.9 million. How many did we sell last year? 6 million. Do we have a supply problem? How many are we going to sell next year? You can mark this down and see if I'm right. I'm going to say 5.82 million next year. Inventory is half of what it was 2 years ago, but we sold 5.8 million houses. Do we have a supply problem? No. We're still selling just as many houses, but on the surface, because inventory is so low, man, have your buyers gotten beat up? And are you guys a little tired too? Like, you're working harder for that buyer commission than I've seen in my 25 plus years in real estate, yes or no? And I'll tell you what I love about it is 5 years ago when I was with Zillow, and the agent is going to be disintermediated. Jeff, you're going away, buddy. You're out. Consumers, especially millennials, those freaks, they're not. They're terrific. They're going to put houses in a shopping cart just like Amazon and check out and don't need you. Was that not the talk track for a while? And there's still rumblings. Is that going to happen? No. The real estate agent is today the most important part of the transaction, and it will be in the rest of my lifetime in this business. And I'm not super old yet. I think I've got a couple more years in this business. Folks, you're it. Could some of your buyers navigate and get the house without you in the last year? Absolutely not. The agent is absolutely the gateway. And so I always like saying that because our industry is, any of you know Steve Murray from, good friend of mine. He does the top agent lists. A lot of you are on it, actually. Results always ranks right up there in the very top. He told me a few years ago, he said, this industry is based on fear. There is always a boogeyman in the industry, and if there's not one, we'll make one up. Are there boogeymen in our industry right now? You better believe it. Ignore them, folks. Focus on what you can control, not what you cannot control. Can you control the economy next year? No. But what do we worry about the most? Think about right now, what are you worried about? What kept you up last night? Obviously, I have things. Have you seen the bags on it? I mean, what are you worried about? Think about that in your mind right now. Is it likely something you cannot control? We spend so much time, and especially in this boogeyman industry, worrying about what we cannot control versus focusing on what we can control. NAR's forecasting next year that price appreciation is going to go up by 2.7%. Now, by the way, I'm a subscriber of Real Estate is hyper-local. What's happening in Bloomington is very different than Andover. But we still quote national. Last year was 14.7% appreciation. Number one market for appreciation in the United States. Boise, Idaho, are we serious with this? 35.4%. Our value is going to go up next year in your greater market, your greater Twin Cities market. Yes. Keith McElroy? Keith McElroy's in Boise? I don't know. Trivial facts to impress your friends. He's right here, folks. You sit in the front. You're gonna be a good sport, right?
Robert Kiyosaki's partner.
He's still talking language I don't understand. He's saying these things. But 14.7, we'll still go up on average 2.7% next year. I think in the greater Twin Cities areas, you're going to be likely between 4 and 6%. You're going to see the vast majority of it, 1 million with appreciation. Something I forecast next year that is going to be different is analysts predicted pre-pandemic that the high end of the market was going to fall out because it always does. First-time home buyers always drive. They account for 34% of the market. We're going to see the highest value appreciation in under $1 million in the greater Twin Cities areas. I think we'll see anywhere from 1 to 2% in the 1.5, 2 million plus. I believe that we've seen the whole market expand by about the same amount. Whether you were 500,000 or 2 million, appreciation has pretty much stayed the same. First time in my life, I was interviewed on CNBC about 3 weeks ago, and they said, what are the hottest markets? I said, in 25 years, it's safe to say the entire US, every market's hot. Like this has never happened before, folks. Unprecedented. But I think we're going to now start seeing, like Austin, I bet we continue to see 15 to 18% appreciation. Holy moly, is that place on fire. It's going to be driven by economics. And what's the number one driver of real estate? Jobs. When people have jobs, they feel good, and that's when they buy houses. Most people say interest rates and all that. Are interest rates going to go up, yes or no? Yes. Crazy amounts? No. See, you're right in, with the market. We've seen it kind of bump and bump. There is one individual that I interviewed a couple weeks ago believes that we could see interest rates even go down in 23. I'm not there yet on that, but they believe that housing makes up what percentage of GDP in this country? 18%. It's huge. And if we go into some type of recession, which we cannot control, that they may pull interest rates even farther down to use the housing segment to help drive overall GDP. Now, I think that's a stretch, just so you know. I think we'll continue to see them go up. I would forecast by third quarter of next year we'll be around 4%. I don't think we'll go higher than 4.25. Without price appreciation taking off, it's going to be a nice balance. Some of your first-time home buyers or some of those at that first-time home buyer price range, are they starting to come back now and revisit you? They may have tried to make 12 offers and didn't get anything, and they said, we just need to step away. We've been outpriced. Can't afford it now. You know, I can't cry over one more missed offer. Are you starting to see them come back a little bit? I believe that first-time home buyers in the next 6 months are going to have a chance. If you've worked with a buyer that has knocked out a house in the next 6 months, is their highest chance of home ownership before rates go crazy, and so take advantage of that with them. Like, it is, to me, absolute prime time. That's my forecast. Agents aren't going away. Your market's going to be good next year. 87% of agents fail. There are a lot of agents, this reminds me, any of you sold in 04, 05, 06? This is similar but different, right? That was a super strong seller's market. And oh my gosh, I saw so many agents. Oh, I'll list your house and I've been licensed 6 months and yard sign, 4 offers. So good. All of a sudden, and granted, that crash is going to be different than this evolution that we're going through, but how many of them ran back to their brokers and said, Brenda, help. I'm not making 100,000 this year. All of a sudden, stuff is just not falling in my lap. They were order takers. Now, I don't believe that you all have been order takers, or I say we because I'm an agent. I don't believe we've been order takers in this seller's market because it's been so tough to navigate the amount of demand. Would you agree with that? So you've sharpened your skills. There will be a number of agents, when stuff doesn't just fall into their lap in the next 12 to 24 months, panic. As Dave Liniger says, do you know what you do when the competition is drowning? This is Dave Liniger saying, not me. What do you do when the competition is drowning? You shove a fire hose down their throat and turn it on. Love that guy. Isn't that great? Now, I'm not telling you to, we're friendly. I love this industry. Like, we will fight. Robin, you and I will fight tooth and nail for that listing, won't we? She'll scratch my eyes out. But man, one of us gets it. What do we do in this industry? We put our arms around each other and say, let's find a buyer. It is the most competitive yet cooperative industry, and I love it for that. Because I'm good. Let's fight for the listing, Robin. Let's go. By the way, she'd probably get it before I would, just saying. But then we're super cooperative, and that's not going to change. Okay, you want some tactical things? Yes? Stop doing. Stop putting on social media, sold it, 72 hours, 30,000 above list price. Stop doing it if you're doing it. Do you know why? What are you teaching your consumers?
That it's easy.
You say it again.
That it's easy.
That it's easy. You are driving the FSBO market of saying, why should I pay you that well-earned commission when it's this easy? Stop doing that. Are you doing that?
Until now.
Okay, good. So we've addressed one of your questions. Are we tracking?
You are right on the money.
Okay, so we're going to stop doing that. How should you do it better? I saw a great one the other day. Wanted to say congratulations to Matt and Nicole. They offered on 14 houses, but we were successful in making their dreams come true on this one. Congratulations on your new home. Happy to help make it happen. What's that telling your consumer? Well, my agent hasn't gotten me a house yet. And that agent did? Do you see the difference in our phrasing? Because let's be honest with ourselves, is there ego in this business? Answered a little too soon on that one. What's the most important thing to a top producer? Themselves. Come on. Themselves. Expired listings. Good source of listings to go after right now. Let's talk about inventory. Would you guys like more listings? Give you a couple of ideas how to get them. Inventory is only low when it's not yours. Those that own the listings own the market, you own pricing, and you don't spend a lot on gas, and we know what the price of gas is doing, right? Be big listers. Expired listings are always great. Are they great now? Are there any expired listings? Here's a source. Go back to listings that expired 12 to 18 months ago, because just a survey from 3 months ago, it's getting a little old, but I'm still going to quote it. 72% of homeowners in the United States have selling on their mind. Now, does that mean all 72% are going to sell? But they have it on their mind. How many of you have bought a new house personally in the last 18 months? Because of why? We just did our consumer research for our new commercials for next year. What was the number one feature in consumer research that homeowners want right now?
Home offices.
That's what everyone says, and you're close. That's number 2. I love that guess. Number 1. Come on, throw it out. Space.
Yard.
Backyard. Backyard. Because people want to be outdoors, and we'll see if that continues. My guess is it'll start to change, but you're exactly right with home office, that extra bedroom. Why did some of you buy a different house? Throw it out.
Yard.
Yard? Do you have a cool dog?
You bought a helipad, though. I mean,
This guy buys some mansion. Is this guy a big deal?
He's scamming you. The guy bought a lake home.
Bought his 5 acres with his Bentley. Okay, I get it. Fine, okay.
Hell of a backyard.
100 hours a week. That's a good use.
Why did some of the others buy a house?
In a market like this, it might be the one time that house will come on the market in your lifetime. There are certain houses that stand families or they have 40 to 50-year owners, and this is the one time because the market's so hot that they're going to come on the market. And I've seen it, and the prices are outrageous, but people are smart enough to say,
For my virtual folks, what she mentioned is that there are houses coming on the market that, like, now is the time because the chances of them coming on the market again may not be here. That's very true because there are people, 72% with moving on their mind, that likely would have stayed in that house the rest of their lives. That's what you're saying. I agree with that 1,000%. Okay, inventory. Any of you use the First app? How many of you have no idea what I'm talking about? Oh, here we go. Okay, here's what you're all going to do. Android or iOS, this is how you're going to get listings, folks. And I'm going to talk about this is the modernization of where I see the industry in the next 3 to 5 years. Agents not going away, are you? No. But we're going to go through the biggest digital transformation that any of us have yet seen in real estate. Survey from 4 years ago, 60% of buyers said they'd rather have a root canal than buy another house. Is that crazy? Is the process anxiety-ridden? Is it tough on buyers and sellers? They get to the closing, right? How many of you love like the Domino's pizza tracker, the DoorDash, the Uber tracker? It's in the oven, it's here, it's delivered to my house. Folks, we are as an industry going to be providing a better, more transparent consumer experience under contract to close 3 years from now. And that's awesome.
Are the lenders in the secondary market on board with that?
Are the lenders in the secondary market on board with that? Some lenders have some of this technology, some title companies have, but the transaction starts with who? You. And that's why I believe as a big brand that has scale, all these companies, Zillow, your lenders, your title companies, what are they all doing? They're trying to capture the consumer somewhere here, and then they're trying to come back to you and sell them to you. 50% of transactions 3 years from now will have a 25 to 30% referral fee attached to it. Let me say that again. 50% of transactions 3 years from now will have a referral fee attached to it. Do you want that? We got to be looking at the business so that you get your maximum. That's what this company was based on. ReMax is real estate maximums. You get your maximum commission. We need to be making sure during this digital revolution that's happening for consumer experience that we're serving up that experience to you as agents to possibly avoid the vast majority of your transactions coming to you with referral fee. Are we scared of data in this industry? Yes or no?
No.
Do you think the industry is scared of data? Yeah. Let me give you an example. The most recent one was earlier this year. Zillow to acquire showing time. Guess what everyone did? freak out, cancel my appointment. I don't want Zillow to have my client information. Call my MLS, call my board directors, tell them to cancel our account. Did that happen? There was a frenzy about it. Folks, here's the reality. Having a name, an email address, and a cell phone number is all public data. You don't have to worry about that. I am not scared of data. I love this example. Any of you get that card in the mail to extend your car warranty? Or better yet, the phone call? Do you love that? I haven't met anyone that says, yeah, I love it. It's annoying, right? I get that card half the time. I don't even own that car anymore. I sold it 3 years ago. Not the Supra, though. But why are we afraid of these things? They what? They listen to us. And it freaks us out, doesn't it? I believe that the real estate industry has been slow to adopt innovation because of the fear of data. I will tell you at ReMax, as we lead through this next evolution of data and tech, we are not afraid of it. We are embracing it. Your devices listen to you and track you, and that's what's called machine learning, if you're not familiar with the term, or AI, artificial intelligence. I love the fact that my shopping habits, that I open something and it's like, how did you know I wanted that? Doesn't it make the experience easier? Gentlemen, just a rule, I bought my wife like these crazy expensive high heels for Christmas last year, the ones with the red bottom. What a waste that is. Whatever, she loves them. Use her device, not mine, because now I get ads, machine learning, for high heels. Very expensive high heels. So gents, just know, don't do that on your own device. Word of caution. Okay, so let's talk about First. Here's the deal. You can go, if you're Droid or iOS, doesn't matter, on your device, go to the App Store, and you're going to download First by ReMax. F-I-R-S-T by ReMax. Guys, we acquired this company nearly 2 years ago in December. We shut off all the competition. We are the only company that has this. It's a very simple app called First. First by ReMax. Now here's what's cool. Are you guys all downloading it? Do you want me to wait a minute?
Is it B-U-Y or B-Y?
B-Y. If you do F-I-R-S-T space B-Y, then the rest of it should come up. Did you find it?
Ready to log in.
Ready to log in, right on. Student of the day. Okay, now you figured it out, so don't worry about logging in and all that. You can do your setup later. It takes about 5 minutes. Here's the deal. It ties into your MLS. It's going to ask you what your MLS ID and password is. It's going to ask you if you want to pull the contacts in from your phone, or then you can import them from your database, either one. When I set mine up, I just imported from my phone. Here's the cool part. It deduplicates for you. Do you ever open your contacts and can't figure out why you got the same person 5 times? Takes them all out. Now, in many cases, most of my contacts, all I have is their cell phone number. Any of you own a home? I'm going to probably take a guess that most of you own your home. Guess how many data points we have on every homeowner in the United States? 750. This is why we're not afraid of data. So if you are a homeowner, every time you go on Facebook, every time you go on your computer at home and you search sites that we have indexed, mortgage, real estate, Home Depot, Lowe's, remodel, anything associated with home, we track you. It was earlier with the intro, wasn't it? Not this. Okay, fair enough. Here's then what it does. Machine learning basically analyzes the behavior of a person and predicts, we put a prediction model on top of it, what you're going to do next. Obviously, I'm going to buy high heels. It knows that. Overpriced ones at that. Yeah, and you know what made me mad about that? She wore them for the first time, and then after we're done with the party, had to take them off and carry them because her feet hurt. I said, those were expensive, put them back on. Okay. Then what it does based on the behavior, it creates a 1 to 3 star ranking rating on each person. So when I click on mine, and I go to my contacts, here are all my opportunities. These are all my 3-star, and as I scroll up, it might go to 2-star or 1-star. Anyone that is a 3-star, we have determined and predicted they are most likely to list their home in the next 3 to 6 months. Scary, isn't it? Then what's great, this is super easy to use. Oh, by the way, my 4th down. I love opening this because I get to see who's next. I have Diane Stanley as number 4 in my list, 3-star opportunity. Do you know how I know she's going to list her house? Her and her husband just got divorced last month. Diane listed that house. They live in a $2.4 million house about a mile from me. I need to text Diane. I may get a listing out of this. Here's what's cool. I can hit connect, and I can call or text. All I have is Diane's cell number. She's a friend of my wife's. And just that cell number connects. If I click on her, it gives me all the information about her. 9555 Silent Hills Lane. It gives me her house. And all I have to do, now folks, this isn't going to put the sign in the yard for you. You have to reach out to these folks. Now, is this true? Maybe you've had a couple, husband, wife, spouse, significant other, a couple. Let's just go with a couple. Have you ever seen that scenario where they're going to list their house, but one of them doesn't even know yet? Have you had that happen? It happens. I bet I'm moving and I don't know it yet. Anna's at home right now searching something, and I'm probably going to list my house. We start tracking that behavior. Diane Stanley was probably looking at homes, obviously has been, even before her friends knew she was getting divorced because she knew what was coming. Now, why do we go out and buy leads and all this frenzy when we have something like this that tells me secretly Diane's going to list her house? Can I give you some scripting with this? When I call Diane, hey Diane, Nick Bailey over here at ReMax Results. I got this creepy app thing that tells me you're going to list your house. We're not doing that. Hey Diane, Nick Bailey, I was just thinking about you the other day. We haven't connected in a while. How are you and the kids doing? I know it's husband divorce, so I'm not going to ask how Rick's doing. Our kids played baseball together. I'm so glad you called. We're actually thinking about listing the house. Brandy lists from Texas. And by the way, I forgot to introduce Dana Tuggle. Dana, hi. Dana is the vice president of the Central Region for ReMax. She runs your stuff, okay? She lives in Houston, actually. We were at an event. Brandy lists as a ReMax agent. She was sitting over here. What's her average price? Yeah, $250,000. She used the first app last year. How many millions in volume did she do off of it? 12 million. Yeah, 12 million in listing volume because all she did is use the first app to connect with people. Are you going to list your house? Are you going to list your house? Folks, you need listings? Oh my gosh. Like you've got it in the palm of your hand, exclusive to ReMax. Try it out. Now, here's going to be your biggest frustration. I'm going to warn you. You probably have a lot of your realtor friends' cell phone numbers in your phone, don't you? Guess who's all going to be 3-star opportunity because they're doing everything in real estate? So you have 2 choices to fix it. Go through and sift them out. I had one lady that said she had over 500 realtor names, and she's like, I hate this app because it's all my realtor friends. Either sift them out, or if you have a CRM or a database with your clients in it, don't just upload contacts on your phone. Pull that database over. And then that way it won't have your realtor friends in it. So you can clean that up. That's the #1 complaint I've heard from realtors, too many realtor friends. Now here's what's cool about it. Can I tell you another story? I only have like 5 minutes left, don't I? 7 minutes? 5. Holy cow, okay, I gotta talk real fast. Any of you sold a house, drove by it, relisted 1, 2, 5 years later with another agent? Here's my story. I'm in Wyoming selling houses. I'm 22 years old. Sold to Nancy and her husband, retired couple. She went to high school with my mom, like just a cool lady. I'd see her in the grocery store. Hi, Nancy, hugs, how are you? Loved the transaction. I was new, clueless, but she still loved the transaction. 2 years later, I'm driving and a for sale sign in the yard. But wait, that was my client. I have her phone number, her cell phone, and her email address. That is my client. Any of you farm an area where you seem like you're always up against that same agent in your market? Mine, her name is Connie. I would Nancy Kerrigan her the minute I could. Guess whose sign was in the yard? Nancy Kerrigan, that's right. Connie. I called Nancy. I said, hey, Nancy, how are you doing? She said, I knew you were going to call. We kind of feel bad. Really? Who feels bad? Send me $5,000 on a commission, lady. She said, we loved working with you, but do you know after we closed? By the way, it was Connie's listing originally, and I brought the buyer. She sent us information about the market and our house every single month for the last 2 years. Guess what I sent her? Whose fault? Connie's or mine? Mine. 94% of buyers say at the closing table they'd use you again. How many do? 13%. Guys, we're terrible at keeping in touch with value. We put them on a terrible newsletter drip campaign and go, winning! 13% will use you again. That's why this is so important. Machine learning. Would you love to wake up and instead of going through emails and text, you open your phone and it says, good morning, Jeff. Here are the 2 people that you know that are going to list their house, and here are the 3 buyers you need to work with. Here are the 5 people today that you should pay attention to. Would that make your life easier? Folks, that's where this industry is going. That's why we are not afraid of data at ReMax, and we've invested in phenomenal amounts of AI and machine learning. We're redeveloping Max Center so that when you log in, it says, hi, Jeff. By the way, you're only 3,000 from Platinum Club. You can track your stats, and it's all about you. The new ReMax University we just launched a month ago. Why? Agents are going to be searching for education next year and the year after when the market changes a bit. It's all developed, the new ReMax University, on machine learning. So when you go in, think of Netflix. Oh, you watched this? Then you'll love this. That's how the new RU works. So if you're a team, or for example, you want to become a team, and so you're watching a lot of team education, how do I hire my first team member? Next time you log in, it's going to say, hey, by the way, I noticed you were looking at some teams. How about this? These technologies are learning our behaviors so that it eliminates all the search stuff. So if you need listings, that's a great way to do it. Oh, here's the best and worst part of feature of this. If somebody lists their house with Connie, it sends you a push notification because right here at the bottom, it has deals missed. You open this thing up, Michael, and it goes whack. Connie got another one. I had an agent, I kid you not, in Kentucky. I was talking with Janice Mueller's office. She said, I hate that app. I used it for a couple of months, but she said, I got so upset every time I got a missed opportunity. And so she said, I had to shut it off. What? She's in counseling, we're working it out. Do you know why that's there? It is to change your behavior. If you see every time, every week, you are missing a listing of someone that's in your phone, and if you got their cell number, it is telling you 94% said they'd use you again, but only 13% are. Chart your course. What you're going to start doing for next year is you're going to own listing inventory with your current contacts, and you will spend 5% of what most agents do. And you'll get a lot of business from it. Okay, let me give you a couple other quick ones. Any of you do door knocking? You've heard this story before, haven't you? Door knocking, yeah? Okay, we have two weirdos. I never liked door knocking, you know. Hi, I'm with ReMax, I don't have any business, you know, can I help you? It's not about liking it. Here's the best door knocking you can do right now with low inventory. Statistically speaking, when a house comes on the market on a street or in an area, how many houses in the next 30 days are likely to come up for sale? 1. And in the next 60 to 90 days, 2 to 3. Isn't that weird? You know, nothing on the market on a street. One house pops up and within 2 months there's 2 or 3. You've seen this happen. So here's what you do. Are neighbors nosy, yes or no? Perhaps. I have a real life story early this summer. The house next to us sold, and they had rented it. It was overpriced. They tried to sell it. Anyway, here's the moral of the story. The moving truck came in. My wife said, oh, hey, we're getting new neighbors. Go check it out. Why do I have to go check it out? Oh, wait, because you can't walk that far in those fancy high heels. So the way this house sits, there's only one window in our upper loft area, and you got to kind of hang your head out the window that I can see their driveway. So I am up. This is, kid you not, sorry. I'm standing on a chair in our loft, my head out the window, reporting back to my wife what the new neighbors look like. They've got 2 kids. I think they're about 38. You know, and must be a grandfather with them. Neighbors are nosy, aren't they? Here's the coolest thing you can do to get listings. List a house. Walk out of the house, door knock 5 doors. You're going to walk with the listing sheet. Hi, I'm Nick with ReMax. A lot of people are home now. They answer doors. I just wanted you to know that across the street, you're going to see a for sale sign tomorrow. This market is, I'm sure you've heard, the real estate market is bananas. I just want to make sure you knew what that the price of the home was, because when this house sells, it'll likely. So I wanted you to be the first to know. Take it a step further. If you would like me to keep in touch with you when it sells and for how much and how that affects your value, you can just give me your cell number. I'll be happy to keep in touch with you and let you know. We talked about this on Coach's Corner in June, had a young man in the room, went out and did it. This is a true story, ladies and gentlemen. He emailed me 7 days later. He said, I just got 3 listings this week from door knocking with that approach. Now, does it have to be your listing to do this? No. Jeff lists a house. Guess what I do? I go knock that neighborhood. Hi, Nick at ReMax. I print out that MLS, hot sheet comes up. I just wanted to give you the information, same script. It doesn't even have to be your listing. So there are 2 good ways to get listings. I'll end with this. Something to start doing. You need to focus on your digital resume. Invest in virtual tours. Only 6% of homes have a virtual tour on them. Homeowners are demanding them at all price ranges. Of the 6%, over 90% of virtual tours are either 4,000 square feet or larger or $1 million or more. We spend to do virtual tour. And not the 25 MLS photos with funeral music that on that horrible couch. You know what I'm talking about? We're talking like Matterport style, folks.
Yeah.
Mark my words, consumers at all price levels, especially first-time home buyers because they're tech adept, they want to walk through virtually. I'm on this mission. If 90% of ReMax listings, instead of 6%, if 90% of our listings all had virtual tours by next year, your quality of leads is a game changer. But we're shortcutting it because days on market are so low. But you are building your digital resume online right now, and it's how you're going to present to get listings. You know, if I'm up against you and you have these beautiful tours, $150,000 house, and I have the funeral music one, she's going to get that listing. We are thinking about low days on market right now and buyers coming in and all this crazy. We're not thinking about days on market are going to be longer next year. Your sellers are going to call you and complain why it hasn't sold yet because it's overpriced. And they're going to tell you it's because you didn't put it in the Wall Street Journal, right? We know how that conversation is going to go. What a lot of agents have not dealt with is 60, 90 plus days on market and how you best position that seller. Build your digital resume. Invest in those things. Trust me, it will make a difference in your business. Lastly, ratings and reviews. Do you do them? Do you ask for ratings and reviews? Do it, do it, do it. Where should your reviews hang? Google, thank you. Most people say Zillow. 35 billion real estate searches on Google. Do all of you have a Google My Business page? Okay, if you don't know what it is, you know when you look up a business, like Dan and I were looking up restaurants to eat at tonight, and you know how that right panel comes up and it's got pictures of the business, it's got their phone number, it's got their hours? That is a Google My Business page. It is free. Agents love free stuff, yeah? Clap it up. Go to Google, search Google My Business page, and set that up for yourself. Because the search engine optimization, the SEO, is indexing primarily off reviews from Google My Business pages. So when you need to have at least 50 reviews, and then when people do real estate searches in your area, your neighborhood, your marketplace, it looks through your reviews, and that's how your rankings come up. It's driven by reviews in a big, big way. Do you have to have a closing to have a review? No. Most agents don't do a review because they're scared of a bad one. Don't be afraid of over 90% of consumers only read page 1 of reviews. So here's my deal. If you get a bad one, just go get 4 more so it goes to page 2. They'll never read it. That is true. You laugh, but it's true. When should you ask for the review? Or when do most of you ask for the review?
When they're happy.
Closing. Come on, that's when most of us ask, right? Is closing. When should you ask for the review? When something good happens. When is the buyer the happiest? When the offer is accepted. I'll tell this last story and I'm going to wrap. You know about Hannah now a lot, more than any crowd has ever heard. She says I'm a buzzkill at a cocktail party. I can't figure out why. I'm fun, I'm energetic. Someone runs the Supra, it's like, cool. People find out I'm in real estate, they run up and say, oh, we bought a house today. Guess what I do? Well, do you realize you're at an 18% probability of close because there's an average of 181 steps from the first time a buyer contemplates buying to get to the closing table. You haven't had an inspection, a resolution deadline. The lender hasn't asked you about where you got the down payment from your dead grandmother. But anyway, good luck. My wife says, would you just say congratulations? So I'm working on it. But that buyer, you say, they accepted your offer. Would you mind doing a review for me? When something good happens. Should you respond to every review, good or bad? Yes. Best one I saw was 2 years ago. I have not seen a better one yet. 5-star, the person puts up there. Great job, loved the agent. Agent responded. Thank you so much. It was a delight to work with you and your beautiful family. I am thrilled that you got the home of your dreams in the school district you wanted for your kids. I wish I had 10 more families just like you. Come on, like, that is so good. Guess what the consumers are reading? Her response, not the 5-star rating. We, though, guess what we do? We get a 5-star rating. Knew it. Take time and do really cool stuff with your responses. Google My Business page. You're going to get reviews. If you don't get a 5-star, don't worry about it. When I worked at Zillow, the highest rating you could get that engaged consumers was 4.85. Why? We don't believe perfection as consumers, do we? So if you're 4.9, awesome. So don't worry about if you're not a perfect 5-star. Last thing, get testimonials on video. This is on Google My Business. At the closing table, now, not all of your folks are going to like to do video, but especially some of your younger clients that are narcissists with everything, that's what these things are doing, they'll do a quick one for you. This summer, I had someone leave right in the middle of my presentation. You know, I called her out, of course. She said, well, I have a closing. I'm like, yeah, right. She did have a closing. She took this idea, went to the closing table. She texted me the video testimonial she got that afternoon. I was getting on the plane. This lady said, and I'm sorry, I forget the agent's name, but she said, I just wanted to share with people, we just closed on this house, and I couldn't have done it without Robin. She was terrific. This is the 4th house she's helped me buy. And this woman starts crying. She had just gotten a divorce. You never know, do we not, we're like psychologists, aren't we, with agents? But it was so emotional because it was her house she was buying by herself. That testimony, I got choked up. I'm on the plane, the flight attendant's like, you okay? I'm like, yeah, just nervous to fly. Is that powerful? We are in the sea of sameness in this business. You got 10,000 agents out there doing some of the same stuff that you do. What you have to start doing is do stuff a little different. 2 people out of this entire room door knock. That means the same ratio is true for every agent in your MLS. Do something different. The vast majority of agents are not doing Google My Business page with at least 50 reviews and are not doing video testimonials. The vast majority of agents are not putting up $350,000 houses with virtual tours. That's what you need to start doing, because you will make just as much money, if not more, in 2022 and 2023 when transactions are going to go down by 1.7%. You're still going to have a great market, but you can make just as much, if not more money next year or the year after, while, remember this, other agents in your market are running around going, the market's crashing. Worry about what you can control, not what you can't control. Folks, we love you. I say this all the time. I get choked up. You pay my living. You pay my living. I put this on and I'm proud. I work for you. Hit me up anytime you want, nick@remax.com. I will do whatever I can to help you be successful in this business. Thanks, everyone.